Yo, 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 what's up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again. Let me turn this volume down a little bit so you all can hear me. What is up? What is up? What is up? Hopefully everybody can hear me good. Let me see. Hey, we just type something in the chat, see if it'll. Oh man, it ain't working in the chat. How come it ain't working in the chatty chat? What's up, everybody? Oh, come on, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm trying to get this working here. And I don't understand why it won't work. Let me do one of these. Refresh. Wrong. Maybe it's because I'm not streaming through there that it won't activate. And that's alright. Let's do this. See if I can do something like this and get it to work. See what that looks like. Done. There we go. Right, we got that in there. That looks kind of janky. But we got it in there, right? Right. Alright. Let me see what that looks like on stream. What's up, everybody? It's your boy MM2K back again with another video. Let me know in the chat if y'all can hear everything good. We're about to get into some raids too. As I alluded to before, I'm about to get some ish off my chest. We got a lot of stuff happening today. Charles Aran says, what's up? What are your thoughts on the D2 non-profit sale? You know, I'm old, Charles. It took me a minute for that to register. Great. It's good. It's good to see the non-pro. Hey, Adam Jones, what's going on, man? Good to see you coming through. It's good to see that they're going to have more discounts opposed to what's available on pro. They need that to circumvent a lot of snafus that they've been making in the press and just in general, man. Albert Madonna says, I don't see nothing. Yeah, I don't see the game either. That is very interesting. Let's fix that real quick. Y'all can hear the game though, right? Having all types of, that's why. Doesn't help. Let me see. We're gonna work some magic here. How about we do something like this? We're gonna duplicate that. We're gonna call it the web. We're gonna work some magic here. Y'all gonna see how the sausage is made. Live on air. Okay. Now I'm there. So we're gonna do something like pada-boop. Okay. And then we are going to go over to the video display box. I gotta delete that because we don't want to do video capture. That is correct. No video capture. Boop! See that? Oh, look at that. Look at that there. All right, and then we're going to do like so. I gotta do a display capture. Add source. We're gonna call this is my 4K Asus. Yes. Y'all gonna see me play on the 4K display. Like so. There we go. There we go, baby. But I gotta shrink this down so y'all can see what the hell's going on. Look at this. Look at all this. I get to see how the sausage is made, man. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, baby. But I'm glad everybody is joining, man. I got some stuff I want to talk about, definitely. Put that in here, video display, like so. We're gonna put it behind that. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Look at how we did. Look at how we did that. You see how we did that? You'll see how we did that. And boom, boom. You'll see how we did that. I ain't had my sleep today. I haven't had much sleep. I'm sorry. Hi everyone. Nightbot says make sure you're following us on Twitter. Yes, please listen to Nightbot. And bro, I don't get ish with Horizon on PC. They overreacting. Absolutely, it's ridiculous. It's absurd. I was gonna do a video, but I said I don't want to replicate myself. Let them cry it out. Dirk Griggity. If y'all are not familiar with Dirk Griggity, he's our label mate there over at PNTS Network. Dirk did a fantastic video. Y'all probably saying, why are you yelling? Because it's going through so loud in my headphones. Dirk did a fantastic video, y'all, in regards to that. So definitely check it out. I love his video, hilarious. It's overreacting, and I hate to say it. I don't want to disparage anybody that's younger, but there's a lot of young people that don't understand, that don't get the gist of gaming. Like they totally have it all wrong. Okay. And that's why they're in an uproar about this. Like if you just started gaming within the last couple of generations, you know what I mean? Then, and you're riling about this, it's just because you're clueless. You don't understand the culture, and you're letting this get to you when you shouldn't. Albert Madonna says about the Final Fantasy 7 debate or 15 debate and Doom Eternal. What the F? I don't get that all the developers, if it's Google like that, must be giving up money and don't do minimum effort. Yeah. Woo, this thing looks good, baby. I'm playing it in 4K. I should be here on YouTube doing it in 4K. Cold Blood Sensei is probably saying, what the hell's wrong with you? Why ain't you doing this in 4K? I have to make some adjustments on the back end in order to do that. Oh, there we go. Ah, that car blocked me, you son of a chicken plucker. Ah! Woo! They gonna kick. Woo! Uh-oh. 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 Yeah. Y'all are tearing me up. Oh, I like that. I like that. Ah, you die. You die. Woo! You like my Super Mario skills, huh? Hi, hop. Hi, hop. Oh, shoot. Woo! Right in the middle of me talking, I'm an old man. Oh, they blew up my car. Jeez. These guys are tough, man. I don't even know how the hell I got over here. Oh, yeah, this is the place. Okay, all right, so here's what's going on, people. Point blank, I am also perturbed about this whole development thing, right? I don't like it. In particular, Doom, and you know, it's ironic that now that I think about it, I didn't put much thought into this earlier, but it is ironic. Oh shoot! Okay, the defibrillator. Okay, this is a new function. I'm glad I got this. Woo! I kind of did it right. Woo! Okay. I don't want to use what's it called? There we go. Whew. Holy cow, they were tearing me up. So anyway, I'm a little perturbed, y'all. I'm not gonna be. I gotta be totally honest. I'm a little perturbed about the developments here. Not because I need 4K, true 4K 60. Look at this. Like I wish, and I am gonna set it up in 4K soon. But look at this. Does this look like it's playing on a web browser? This is me playing the game on the freaking web browser. And y'all should see it in 4K. I'm gonna set it up. Does it look like I'm playing this game on a web browser? It doesn't. So I don't need true 4K to get a great experience with Doom, but that's not the issue. The issue is that we got to be honest, y'all. Let's get it out the way. I'm gonna go from the lowest culpability, as far as what we know right now, to the highest culpability in regards to what's going on with Doom. But we got to be honest, and y'all. Hey, look, the channel is called Stadia Dosage. You know I love the platform. You know that I see what it's going to be in the future. You know I have high hopes for this thing. So don't take this. Don't be depressed by this. Don't do like what Cold Blood Sensei said. Be like the PlayStation people that are upset because a game is coming to PC. Damn it! No, don't do that. All I'm saying is that if I, as a multi-billion-dollar corporation, if I fly out to my stage, to my conference, you're going to have the audacity to get on my stage and tell me, oh yeah, you're based off of Vulcan, and I'm not going to pretend like I know what all that stuff means, but you're based off of Vulcan, we're based off of Vulcan. Supposedly, it's supposed to be more efficient to DX12. I don't know what the relation is to DX12 and all this stuff, but and you got on stage and you said this yourself, that because of our compatibility in that area, that it's a match made in heaven. 4K 60 is a no-brainer, and I've talked to some of my developer friends, people that work with said products and said development tools and said API tools, and they say, yeah, there is no reason why they can't fathom why 4K 60 can't be done. So regardless of any other thing that I'm about to discuss in the periphery, if you have the audacity to get on my stage and say that, when it does, and you demo this for months to other people, and I've heard them talk about it. I've heard people take out their monocle, check out the 4K 60 pixels, and they're like, it looks amazing, it's there. For you, oh shucks. What done just happened? Did they shut me down? Oh no! That's the first time that's ever happened. They shut me down. The hell happened? Oh crap. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on one second. I'm using voice meter potato. For those of you that know what that is, hold on. Give me 1 second. And voice meter refreshes itself every few hours, and it booted. Okay, give me 1 second to fix something, and it booted me out of my goddamn game. That's the first time that's happened. Now I can't control anything. Hold on 1 second. Close it out. Cool. Okay, I can close it out. See if we can open it back up. Okay, now it's letting me do that. Regor's Nas says epic fail. Shut up. No. That is an epic fail. It's the story of my Stadia life today. Now I gotta hold on. Give me 1 second. I gotta get voice meter potato. And it's an audio program, but what it does is if you don't give them $80 billion, then they keep hitting you with these timed out things where you gotta wait 43 seconds at a time to control your computer again. It's a bunch of hogwash, but hopefully we'll get through it. Now I really can't control none of my stuff. All right, now the 43 seconds is up. I don't know if I should reboot. This is the first time that I've done this on stream. It says reopen the game to play it. Uh-oh. Because I did it on the he says, why the hate? Stadia is dead. Leave us alone. Look, you know what, Alberto? I get it, but it's not going to happen. I get it. It is not going to happen. Do not ever, do not ever resign to that. Never resign to that. It's not going to happen. They're always going to be continuously on the attack. Here's what needs to happen, though. Stadia has to get better at its messaging, period. That's first and foremost. Secondly, Stadia has to get better at its messaging, period. That's paramount. That's first and foremost. Secondly, when we have business partners that say that they're going to do XYZ, they need to do said job. And if they're not going to do said job, then we need to coordinate with them, and they need to, and somebody needs to explain why they can't do said job. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need answers why all of a sudden we can't get 4K 60, true 4K 60. Okay. So what I've had to do is I've had to go into Google Chrome. What I was playing on an app version of Google Chrome, the Stadia app version, which means you can take any, which is cool. You can take any like program that runs off of Chrome. And as y'all can see, this is 4K 60. You know what I'm saying? Now it's an upres of 4K because I think it's 1440p, but it's an up. So it still looks great. And if y'all can see it in 4K, that'd be fantastic. But what happened was, I'm running off of Chrome Canary, which is an unstable version of Chrome, but it allows you to do a whole bunch of features in it. And when my voice meter potato went to go reboot and try to ransom me for money, it messed with the Stadia app version that I have running off of Chrome. So I had to go to basic Chrome and run it. But as y'all can see, when I ran the basic Chrome, the stable version, it just went straight to the game. But I don't like those numbers there, so let's move them. Let's first and foremost do this, because this is a plugin that's doing all that fun stuff. So let's get it out of here. Let's go back to the game. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's do the thing. I know I shouldn't be dropping rhymes at all. So back to the situation at hand, folks. So again, let's start from the beginning. Least culpability, as far as I'm concerned, to the most culpability. Least is, this is your platform, Google. You invited them on stage, and I get it. Your kill the trial. Uh-oh. And I get it, Google. Your the only thing with Chrome Canary is that it does look slightly better. I noticed it because I haven't gamed. Whew. Die, you roaches! I haven't gamed on these mugs ain't playing with me. I haven't gamed on the regular Chrome for a while. And the unstable version of Chrome has it look even better. But that's the techie stuff you gotta deal with. Anyway, what? Oh, come on. Come on now. The shield ain't that damn strong. Die, you roaches! There's more enemies on stage this time around. God damn, I slid past her. Look at it. Oh! I knew it! Defibrillator. I'm glad I got this thing. Oh! 15% health gain, and it shocks them, which is cool. I'm still trash though. So anyway, who the hell? They just come from anywhere. Okay, they killed me. God damn it, where the hell were they at? Anyway, so the problem is that, again, Google, if you put them on your stage, so you're culpable. There's no getting away from that. And I get, and big ups to the homie Chase. I get where the homie Chase is like, no, you really can't blame Google because for just specific legitimate reasons that he gave. But I'm looking at it from the business side. This is your platform. You brought them on the stage. If you're gonna bring them on the stage, you gotta reasonably answer for when they don't deliver. Because they're representing your product, you offered to put them on the stage, right? And being that you offered to put them on the stage, if something falls through, you better be there to answer for the gap in performance. You know what I'm saying? You can't just say, oh, this, golly. You can't just say, oh, I got no culpability here. You own the platform. So you are responsible, okay? Secondly, so you're responsible for the messaging there. But again, the guilty party is the developer. The developer got up there and proclaimed that, hey, we have some commonality here. You run off of Vulcan, I run off of Vulcan. Therefore, this is a no-brainer. Oh, I see the little rat bastard up there. It's a no-brainer. This thing is going to be true 4K 60, right? So, why is it not true 4K 60? And why did you try to stealth release so in the middle of the night? You know what I'm saying? Like, first it was Rav Gaming, you know what I'm saying? The homie. Rav Gaming had to find out that you guys were not going to do true 4K 60. And then the more peculiar thing is, which is going to lead to the next part, is you first reported yesterday that you were doing 1440p. That was being upscaled. Jesus Christ, John Elway killed me. You first were doing 1440p. That was being upscaled to 4K. But now, you're not doing 1440p, it's 1800p. And guess who else is doing 1800p? Miraculously, it's the Xbox One X as well. So, there's a big question of parity that pops up. And due to that question of parity, my question is, why in the hell isn't your gamer the ones that first announced this out of the media side? Why aren't they reporting anything about this? Why aren't they asking these questions? Don't they find it weird too? And that's my point. It's not that, look, like I said, look at your screen. This is 1440p being up-res to 4K. This looks good. I'm happy. I am happy, even on an unstable, application, which was that Google Chrome Canary. You saw it break down. You saw how easy it was for me to just pull up another web browser and boot it up. I'm happy. I'm gonna get the premier experience, as far as I'm concerned, for Doom Eternal next to PC is going to be Stadia. Period. For the simple fact, I ain't got to worry about load times. I ain't got to worry about extra disk space and getting SSDs and none of that stuff. None of it. I don't have to worry about it. So for the simple fact, for the most powerful console in the world, which was $500, for $130, I'm able to play it at the same resolution but get all those additional perks. It's a no-brainer that it's going to be better all around on Stadia. That's not the point. The point is that we could potentially have somebody that said, hey, I have a marketing deal with you. And I don't like the fact that you're going around bolstering that you're going to outperform our version of your game on another platform, and especially with it being Google Stadia. Now, who am I implying could be saying that? Xbox. It's been rumored that Xbox has the marketing rights for Doom Eternal. So if Xbox has the marketing rights for Doom Eternal, and all of a sudden we're seeing parity at 1800p, because I just find it odd that Stadia was supposed to be at 1400p at first as of yesterday. All of a sudden it gets boosted at 1800p with Xbox. Like, what is going on here? But meanwhile, they were so staunch in announcing that the game would be true 4K. That's telling me, you know, per what I'm seeing right now, that it could, to this day, probably do 4K. And it's being held back for some reason. Again, not 100% conclusive, but that's how it looks. And it's not like we've never seen this before. We've seen this as it was reported and rumored with Destiny. Destiny 2, like I alluded in my video earlier today. Destiny 2 was supposed to be able to do 60 frames per second at launch on the Xbox One X. And because of parity concerns with PlayStation, who had the marketing rights, it got held back. It was even so bad that they wouldn't even tell you. The whole parity thing was so bad that they wouldn't even tell you if the damn game was going to have HDR on Xbox. That's how bad it was. So being that we got the sour taste of that in the mouth of the gamers, we need answers. Whoa, crap. We need to know, is there parity behind this platform? Jesus Christ. Because again, this ain't something totally new. Oh yeah, I had to go on overload here. They had me outnumbered. They got me outnumbered. Woo, shoot. So I'm a little perturbed. I'm most perturbed at the potential that you have a platform that could have like melted our faces. Not saying it's not going to look good. And again, even at a resolution tie with the Xbox One X, you know, what you're probably going to have is you're going to have some slightly better textures on the X, possibly. But you're going to have the better anti-aliasing on the on Stadia, if what's happened in the past is an indicator. Even though those reports, and maybe those aren't the best indications, because it might have the better textures and the better anti-aliasing. But we already know that because of the compressed nature of Stadia, that it has smoother edges. You know, and Digital Foundry felt some type of way about announcing that about Stadia. We don't understand why it's capable of that. Why? You know. They didn't want to wholeheartedly to give them the benefit of, we don't know if there's some trickery. It doesn't matter why. What matters is that it's happening, right? You don't ask why whenever a console it has some superior benefit. That's why I'm not the biggest fan of Digital Foundry. With that being said, I don't want to go too far in the weeds, but that is wholeheartedly my concern. My concern primarily is, do we have the potential of someone doing bad of the gaming community by saying, look, our tech is inferior. Because our tech is inferior, we're going to leverage the fact that we used you, or we gave you some money for marketing rights, and we're going to have you prohibit your abilities on that platform because ours is inferior. It's not the fact that it's 1800p. I'm a PC gamer at heart in a lot of ways. I love 1440p 60. If I can get 1440p 60 and above, as far as frames is concerned, I'm happy. I don't give two asses about 4K at the end of the day. That's why when people originally was, you know, whining about 4K, I hate to say that for lack of a better term, they were whining about 4K. I didn't care. I didn't care that the games didn't launch at native 4K. I don't care about that. That being said, I don't like the prospects of you holding back technology because someone else gave you a fat check. I don't like that. Now, who's the badass? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. But I don't like the prospects of that, and that's my issue. Again. Let's look, no doubt about. Well, you know, if you got a PC at the recommended specs, then it's a no-brainer. Especially if you follow the recommended specs for 4K 60. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. PC's going to be number one. All right, fine. Secondly, it's going to be, they're trying to say it's a tie between Xbox and Stadia, but as far as I'm concerned, it's going to be given to Stadia for the simple fact that I bet you the frames are going to be more consistent on Stadia. They're going to be more consistent on Stadia. It's going to feel smoother on Stadia. It's going to look smoother on Stadia. The only thing that I can see that Xbox having in favor is that they might get better textures. They might have better textures if we use the ports as an indicator. But that might not be a good indicator. Because Doom, if what we're suggesting might possibly be right, then you might have better textures on Stadia, and the resolution is just being held back. You see what I'm saying? So it all depends. But Charles Oran says, on one hand, this controversy could reach Google and Bethesda, and they end up delivering.
I know it's a big old wasteland out there.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't want you holding back my tech. I don't need. Look, the fact that I know that you could potentially do 4K 60, that I believe because of how boastfully you said so, you could do 4K 60, and it's really starting to sound like that you're holding it back for superficial reasons. I definitely want you to do it. I don't need it. I mean, really, at the end of the day, y'all, let's just say if Digital Foundry said, oh, this is 4K 60, and everybody else said it's 4K 60, but it was still 1880p bumped up to 4K 60. What we know the difference? No. We don't know how to count pixels. Most of us don't. So we need to stop it. The thing is that, again, I don't like the possibility that because you can't compete as far as the tech that you invest in, that you try to use money to downplay the experience for other gamers. And especially if that's what Xbox did. That's a problem to me, because you got Phil Spencer that's running about saying, I don't want to take away from the experience of the other gamers. Then we know it's bullpucky. So again, we don't have 100% proof. I got, people, good friends of mine behind the scenes showing me videos of Final Fantasy 15 and all this other jazz. Oh, is it parity there? No, those are ports, for one. And for two, don't act like we haven't seen this before. Don't act like you weren't with me crying and whining for the sake of the Xbox when it was heir apparent that it was going on with Destiny 2 as well. So don't do that. But I just don't like someone as a tech enthusiast, and let's be honest here, the vast majority of us that are sticking with this platform earlier on, with its limited amount of titles and stuff like that, without the full gambit of features, we're tech enthusiasts. The vast majority of the people that stuck with this platform despite the AMA and all other stuff, we are the tech enthusiasts. As a tech enthusiast, I don't like the prospect of knowing that you can do some face melting stuff, and because someone comes out with a big duffel bag, that holds that experience back for me. I don't like that. I don't like that. And no gamer should stand for that. And if that is the heir apparent possibility here, then we need answers. And again, I don't appreciate the fact that Eurogamer didn't ask those questions. Like, their goal was to do a drive-by with another Stadia Sucks article, be a little bit more tame in their rhetoric, and then pull off with the clicks. How is that doing gamers a service? It's not. And I'm pretty sure we got an article coming out on Broadband Bullies. I've reached out to, I'm doing Eurogamer's job for them. I got to do Eurogamer's job. I don't have the connections, but I'm still going to try and do their job for them. So while we're doing their job, we got an article pending from broadbandbullies.com. Stay tuned, and while you're waiting, check out the other great content that we have on the site. We got an article coming where we're going to address all this, and we're going to ask the questions, like who has the marketing rights? If anybody does, who has the marketing rights? If we find out that it isn't, that Xbox does have them, then we got to dig into that. Is there some parity here? Someone explain how they exactly announced 1440p with Xbox, didn't exactly announce that they're being bumped up to 1800p or 1880p, whatever it is. That's not ironic. Like, we need answers. If we find out that Xbox doesn't have the marketing rights, or there wasn't any parity claims, and we're 100% sure about that, and we can knock that out, then we need answers from Bethesda. Like, what in the hell happened? You were so staunch. You went to all these developers and stuff and said, hey, we're going to do 4K 60. Native true 4K. You said it with so much confidence. Like, wow. You got an answer for that. And at the end of the day, if it comes out that you were ready to do it, but it was something on the tech side that couldn't do it, then we got to get answers from Google. Like, what's going on? You know, we'll need Google to be transparent. Because a lot of people have said the tech should be able to do it. It could be a programming issue. It could be a codec issue. Maybe they're concerned with bandwidth. Who knows? But let's be transparent about this thing. Let's not keep playing these guessing games. I don't like the prospect of me being a consumer. I got to keep guessing what the product placement is of your item or your services. And I'm not saying it's Google's fault in this. We don't know whose fault it is primarily in this particular situation, but we need some clarity here. What can it do? What can't it do? That's it. So yeah, I'm a little worked up. I am a little worked up. I'm not gonna front. And another thing that has me worked up too is that, again, I as far as this is concerned, I feel Google has the least amount of culpability at the moment based upon what we know until we get further details. But I am a little perturbed about their plan of attack with their messaging. Like, and I say, and it's me, it's the business part of me talking. It's the MM2K side that's been in the Fortune 500 world for over 20 plus years, managing managers, dealing with IT, I can't say too much, but even dealing with Microsoft on high level technical issues, doing all types of stuff. If I was a manager there on the marketing side of this, I would be walking around the floors breathing fire right now. I would be breathing fire. Like, why weren't we ahead of this messaging? I would be saying we had YouTubers warning us about this, and we still aren't ahead of this messaging. Like, what is going on here? And some people may disagree, and that's fine, that they shouldn't say anything. But no, you got to keep momentum. And I get it. You can't respond to everything. You definitely can. I wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment. Why waste your time responding to everybody? I even talked about that yesterday in my video dealing with these clickbaity YouTubers. But this isn't something small. Like, with the other stuff, people got it wrong. They assumed that all your stuff would be native 4K at launch. That was them misunderstanding your message. Because looking back at GDC, nobody claimed that all the games at launch would be 4K 60 or native 4K 60. They never used they never used none of that terminology. And we know better because we've been battling this whole generation talking about dynamic 4K, up-res, and 1880p and the PS4 Pro potato. We've already been here, so we know the rhetoric. So the simple fact that we've never heard native 4K across the board in relation to Google tells me that people were just nitpicking with all the other games. But this time around, they're not nitpicking. This time around, they came out and made a bold claim. This was 4K 60. So being that you got caught with your hand in the cookie jar, so to speak, because hey, somebody's got to be responsible here. You got to get ahead of the messaging. I would have said something as simple as, look, we are as we stated prior, we do not, and I'm ad-libbing here. This is how easy this is. As we stated prior, we do not we don't force or hamstring our developers into a certain spec. We are happy to that a storied franchise or a critically acclaimed franchise like Doom and Doom Eternal are coming to our platform to add to our, our very diverse lineup, to help us have a diverse lineup. I've played a recent version of Doom Eternal, and I have to say it looks great and looks fantastic on Stadia. Take into consideration that you'll be able to play on any of your favorite screens at the touch of a button makes the Stadia experience a premier experience to have. I just came up with that from the top of my head. How hard was that? Was that hard at all? No, not at all. Stadia first says, I hope Google's going nuts with the devs. I hope somebody's breathing fire somewhere. I hope tough conversations are being had somewhere. That's what I'm saying. Where'd I just come from? Did I get everything here? I still got some stored data pads. Okay, I gotta go back. I hope tough conversations are being had somewhere. That's the point I'm trying to make. Because if it's a parody thing, there's not much Google can say about that. It is what it is. I mean, they got to kick themselves and smack themselves in the head and say, hey, look, next time we invite somebody, we got to make sure that we got the marketing rights. I mean, if it's a parody thing, you know what I'm saying? You really can't. Then that's where I agree with Chase with that. You really can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't. There's only so much culpability they would have there, except for not fully understanding how the game is played. That Xbox would do something like that if they do have the marketing rights and it was a parody thing that caused it not to be 4K 60 at launch. You know what I'm saying? So that I would wholeheartedly get. Oh, I'm about to die. Nope. Oh! That I would get. But if it's not a parody issue, or regardless if it's a parody issue or not, rather. I don't want to use. Yeah, the hell with it. I know better. I wasn't even using my dash. Whether it's a parody issue or not, Google could have got ahead of this thing. We warned them. And I don't even think it's about us warning them. I think they knew, but I think that they felt like it's not worth addressing. And I don't understand why. It is. You got caught with your hand in a cookie jar, proverbially. And I understand it. Again, if it was a parody thing, you have no control over that. It's an unfortunate lesson that had to be learned that, hey, next time, before you, let someone represent you like that and hold so much weight to the possibilities of your platform, you better make sure that, all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. You don't get crossed here. But despite all that, again, this was still worth responding to. And again, it wasn't hard. I just showed y'all how I did it. That wasn't difficult. As we stated earlier, our position remains the same. We do not put ourselves in a position to mandate any type of spec to our developers. We let the developers choose, especially in the infancy stage of this platform. With that being said, we are very happy and we're very proud to have this storied franchise or this critically acclaimed franchise on our platform and to help add to our desired diverse lineup here on Google Stadia. Now, as someone who's played the most recent build of Doom, I can tell you that this thing will play great and look great on Google Stadia. You couple with that the fact that you can click and play anywhere on any screen within any of your favorite devices, or click on any screen in your house. or click on a diverse set of screens within your house, it definitely makes, Jesus Christ, it definitely makes Stadia on, it definitely makes Doom Eternal on Stadia a premier experience. Wasn't difficult at all. All right, so Albert Morris says the era of Stadia is not to have first-party exclusives in hand, and it's sad know how behave the third devs. Stadias have to have a Nintendo approach, have all the games. Well, see, here's the problem with that, y'all. There's nothing. Look, they're a little bit behind the curve of PlayStation 4, but PlayStation didn't have, I don't think, any great exclusive at launch. They didn't. And you see the beast that PlayStation 4 is today. They didn't have no great exclusives at launch. You got to be careful with that. They had what did they have? Octodad and they had Infamous Second Son, which wasn't no barn burner there. They had Shadowfall, which honestly, the general conception is that it's trash. You feel me? So I don't think that it was about having great, launch titles. They had Destiny 2 Collection. They had Guilt, which, for everybody that I know that played the game, it was a very solid game. And then they've also had Darksiders Genesis, even though that was timed for only a couple of months. So that they had a decent lineup of exclusive content. They just didn't have a robust lineup. That's all. It wasn't robust. And it wasn't robust for them to go out there and make these claims about how their system was better than theirs when their system has, all these games on. So I get all that. And again, this is a new company. They were doing a lot of data. For what you're proposing, this thing wouldn't have been, if they had to wait until they had exclusives, this thing wouldn't be launched until 2023, 2024, and they would be too far behind the curve as far as cloud gaming was concerned that they wouldn't be able to get a leg in. So I completely understand why they came out when they came out. Makes perfect sense to me. And then some of these things we do have to be patient with because it's just the nature of, oh, shucks. It's just the nature of them, holy cow. It's the nature of them having, these very young relationships established. Like I always mention the fact that Phil Spencer can get away with announcing, holy shucks, Muggs is John Elway with them Rockets. Oh, the defibrillator, here we go, baby. Ah, that sucks. Woo! Die, you roaches! Woo! Y'all done got me mad now. Y'all embarrassing me on my own stream. Oh, off with the head. Off it was the head. Woo! Now that's what you call that's what you call some serious stuff. So yeah, guys, we gotta be fair here, and understanding what's going on. That these are some young relationships, and there will be some tough conversations being had if they weren't had already. You can't, there's really not much, I'm gonna put y'all on the chart, and then we gotta, I don't wanna say sympathetic, that's not the right word. We gotta be cognizant of Google's placing in all this. Because earlier we talked about how they should be yelling at devs. I don't know if that's the right term. You gotta understand, again, these relationships are young and fresh with Google, And they're the ones responsible for the launch not being so great. That was them. A lot of it was hate, a lot of it was lies, but they didn't handle it well either. So a lot of people are antsy. That's why, I mean, we know EA is going to support them, but that's why you haven't heard EA say nothing. EA ain't said jack squat. Because there's unfortunately a stench with the Stadia name right now, rightfully so or not. So these relationships are still young, and if you're in Google shoes right here behind all that, you can't just call up a dev and say, but you promise if it's in relation to parity. If parity is the issue, then yeah, that's a problem that you can't do much about. However, if parity's not the issue and it's a development thing, then you got to give me answers, Chief. And I will say, y'all can't, hey, look, then you have a little bit more wiggle room. Bethesda, ID, y'all can't leave me out here like this, man. Like, help me out here. Why isn't this capable? So we can wrap our messaging. Let's agree on some messaging for this. We have to get behind this. We can't just tell, we got to do, you have to do that. If it isn't the developer's fault, if it's something that Google is concerned with because of bandwidth, they realize that 4K 60 isn't the best thing to omit right now for whatever reason, then something has to be said. And then you have to refine your product placement because everybody knows you for boasting about these 10.7 teraflops. If the boasting about the 10.7 teraflops ain't what it's all about anymore, then you got to get away from that and you got to start talking about, pricing, no loads. You got to redo your product placement. You have to. See something here. Check something real quick, guys. I'm sorry. Said there's a chest here. Like, and if the 4K 60, which is an equation of power, is not what you're going to do right now, then I would say while you're in the 1.0, 1.5 state, and I say 1.0, 1.5. 1.0 is what you were at launch. 1.5 is what you're going to be at when base drops. During those two phases, I would my product placement statement. Where the hell is this other case at? Would be something like this: an affordable, high fidelity gaming at home, on the go, at your fingertips. Period. Affordable, high fidelity gaming at home, on the go, at your fingertips. Right? Get away from this. Get away from having power. Oh, there we go. Oh, there goes another arc chest too. Get away from power being your main push and just simply give the gambit. High fidelity gaming at home, on the go, at your fingertips. Says Rage 2 has a glitch in it. It says you won't be able to launch the last stage to beat the boss. I was thrilled with this game, but when that happened, I had to put it down again. That's interesting, because I did hear something about Rage 2 having an issue, but it got fixed. Thought I saw something on Stadia Source. Gravity jump, okay.
With the grav jump accession, you will be able to perform an extra gravity-defying
I've never gotten this perk before. Press A while in air and give yourself an extra burst. Oh, okay, cool. Cool.
Accepted.
Perfect. Oh no, don't know why it won't let me run. Uh-oh. Is there something over here? Yeah, how the hell am I supposed to get a... Oh. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, how in the hell? Okay, maybe, oh, I get it, okay. Cool,
Good.
cool. Okay, cool.
Training requirements are complete.
All right. Got my gravity jump, y'all. So, yeah. Product, that's why I would be going around the floor just kicking over desks if I was managing there. Like, what is our new product placement? I would be saying, team, we've gotten burned talking about these 10.7 teraflops. Like, what is our new product placement? What is it? What is it? And somebody should be saying, well, MM2K, it only makes sense that let's look at what we're good at. Because here's the number one question I get all the time. And I got it again today. If y'all follow me on Twitter, I got it again today. And it was a very fruitful and a very great conversation that I had. I really appreciated it. But somebody had came on the scene because I had dropped the video about Stadia and this whole Doom situation, right? And somebody came on and they said, oh, Stadia sucks, man. It's going to be dead in 5 months. And you know me, being the smart ass that I am. I said, oh, are you basing this off your own knowledge or somebody else's emotions? So we proceeded to go back and forth about the matter. And when I showed them the footage of me playing on a browser for the first time and a bunch of other stuff, they said, you know what? You know what? You're right. And they said, well, why would somebody, they asked me, they said, why would I buy Google Stadia when everything else is better? And I said, well, what is better to you? I said, better can be subjective. I said, to me, better is not having any load times. Come on. Jesus. Not having any load times. Not having to buy a whole bunch of, storage space to load games. Not having to pay hundreds of dollars to get high fidelity gaming, right? And a consistent 60 frames per second on all games. Oh, holy cow. And so then after I said that, the person said to me, you know what? You're right. I was in my feels. Like, you know what? Stadia just doesn't have the lineup for me. And I said, you know what? I can dig that. I said, I can dig that. Stadia doesn't have the lineup for you right now. I can dig that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when it does, understand it can perform well. And I dropped the video in there. And I answered your question, like, why would I get Stadia? But people are asking that question still now 3 months after the fact because I think Stadia needs to do a better job at answering that question themselves. Like the last time that they introduced themselves to the public, it was because we're 10.7 teraflops, and that's more than the Xbox and the PlayStation put together. You got to scrap that for something a little bit more fathomable to the average gamer, even in the 1.0, 1.5 state. And again, I said affordable, high fidelity gaming at home, on the go, at your fingertips. And I imagine, because the target demo, from what I've heard, the target demo are females from age 20 to 35, I think. That's what I heard. So if that's your target demo, and again, that's fine. You have statistics to support that. Not to say, guys, y'all know I'm not a female from 20 to 35. Please, you know what I'm saying? I mean none of that criteria, right? But I'm just saying it's for everybody. But that's their target demo. Okay, so if that's your target demo, you need to have some advertisements, maybe that you just run off of Google or whatever, when somebody enters Google, or have on YouTube here and there, where you show that target demo Oh, wow, okay. You show that target demo. First, maybe playing the game on a browser. Then going downstairs and playing it on a TV. Then maybe getting a phone call from a friend and going to the park and playing it on their phone. And then maybe going to a coffee shop, sitting down in a coffee shop and playing it on a tablet. To me, that's a no-brainer. And again, the product placement line. Affordable high-fidelity gaming at home, on the go, at your fingertips. Not hard. You got to get rid of that stigma, that 10.7 teraflop. Because especially after today, it's no longer, if it's perception-wise, it's no longer valid. If your games can't omit at higher power than the Xbox One X, then there's no point in talking about teraflops, period. Leave that talk to Xbox. And then that's not a killer proposal anyway, because if it was a killer proposal to go off of, Xbox would be in a better placement. So you're not really losing out on anything by not going off of that mantra. Let me see. I want to go back here because I didn't complete everything. Hold on. Let me make sure that I got everything here. Storage container. There's a storage container. But hopefully that all makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't me just doing some Stadia hate. Because y'all know I love Stadia. Just stop it. And it's not me being upset and being emotional. This is me giving advice. Because I got to be honest with you. I think these are legitimate questions. Like, somebody has to be running around Stadia mad as whatever, talking about how are we bungling this. We had a bunch of YouTubers warn us about this. And now we're getting just when we're starting to get some traction, we're getting blasted on this. And there's no way around this. I can't do no video about this. Not saying I would do it just to favor them, whether it was true or not. No, I'm just saying there's no way to spin that it was said at GDC and it came out not to be true. And this is a big thing. This is something that's been plaguing you guys. Why get Stadia? Y'all proclaim power. Y'all are not omitting the power that you proclaim. Again, do I wholeheartedly agree with that? No. But perception is 9/10 of the law. Get ahead of something like this. You can ignore all the silly fuddy-duddy stuff. The young yays with the they're giving away free Chromecasts. No, leave that garbage to him. Let him get his clicks. Let him live. Let him eat. But I'm talking. This is serious stuff, and they should have been ahead of that. Bippity Bop, what's up, homie? I ain't seen you in a minute, man. Good to see you.
I'm checking into the clinic. Wait for me.
I don't know where this 4 storage containers at.
I'm feeling good.
But that's what it is, people. I wonder where this 4 storage containers at. That's definitely what it is. They gotta get better. They gotta get behind the messaging. And again, it wasn't hard. I'm gonna say it again ad nauseum. One more time, y'all. Just one more time, and I'll shut up about it. Look, as we said earlier, we do not mandate specific specs with our games to developers. In relation to Doom Eternal, we are ecstatic to have such a critically acclaimed franchise added to our lineup of games for Google Stadia. And because this game is built from the ground up for Stadia, I can tell you, definitely after playing a recent build, that this thing will play smooth and look beautiful on our platform. In addition to the no loads, the no need for extra storage, and your ability to play anywhere on all of your or play on multiple screens at the touch of a button, we feel gives Doom Eternal on Stadia, makes it the premier gaming experience in the story. There you go. Not hard. Not hard at all. Okay, I can't find that last box, and I ain't gonna sweat it. I had to get that off my chest, y'all, because I just don't, I don't get it. What's a lie, Cold Blood? Let's hear it. What's a lie? Let's hear it, Cold Blood. What's a lie, good brother? What is a lie? The fact that I can play this game at with all likelihood is going to be a better 60 frames per second if history tells. This is going to, and this game is built from the ground up for Stadia. It's going to have 60 frames per second more consistently than the Xbox One X. It is. They can't get it. Nothing built for nothing is built for Stadia. That's bullpucking. Cold Blood. You had too much cognac last night, my good brother. That's bullpucking. This game was built from the ground up. I'm not saying primarily for Stadia, but it's not a port. It's built from the ground up for Stadia. The Stadia version is not a port. It's built from the ground up for Stadia. And because of that, that's why we're questioning how come they can't do 4K 60. Everything indicates why it should be able to do it. Bippity bop. No, it's not a PC port, Cold Blood. You're wrong. You got your facts wrong, good brother. Get off that yak. See, you up here like Shannon Sharp, man. You on that yak. You gotta get off that yak, brother. This is not a PC port. It is not a PC port, good brother. Most of the games up until now were all PC ports. You're all right, but not Doom Eternal. Bippity bop, you're absolutely right. They need to promote convenience over performance. Yes, yes. There goes that extra box. Absolutely. I gotta find whatever data port pad there is. Yeah. Don't talk power unless it looks better. And 60 frames per second is great. You can tag that to performance, but it's not an industry norm right now, especially for casuals. They have no idea what that benefit is. So if you're talking power, you got to show it in your graphics or your resolution. And you're not showing it in your graphics or resolution right now, so that power talk should be admonished. I would talk the only thing I would say as far as performance is concerned is smoother gameplay at 60 frames per second for all of our titles, unlike console. That's the most reference I would give to performance, as Bippity Bop alludes. Your selling point is convenience and price. $130 opposed to $500, then another $500 later on this year? $600 maybe? And then you show people, you advertise showing people just moving all up everywhere, playing your games on different screens with the touch of a button. That's what you do. Like, I beckon back to the Nintendo Switch commercial. Remember those Nintendo Switch commercials where it showed the people on the rooftop and all the other stuff having fun with the Switch? Like, showing what the technical difference. You got to show what your difference is. And that's what the Switch did. It didn't talk about power that it couldn't show. They showed you what their technical difference was, and it was their mobility. They sold mobility until they were able to talk about mobility and games.
It's a goon world, shit guzzler, and there ain't nothing you can do to stop us.
Y'all need to talk about mobility and price, because y'all got that over the Switch. Y'all got price over the Switch.
We sure could use a target practice. Hear me, glitz and success. We got bigger buddies than you.
The Switch is $300 to get the premier experience of Stadia.
So you better just
The top of the line experience, all I need is $130.
like a big boy.
On top of that, I don't really need to pay the $130. I could just pay $10 a month. This thing, I'm playing this right now, people, on a 4K browser. You're watching me play this 4K via a browser. Okay? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I'm playing this 4K via a browser. You don't need the Chromecast Ultra to get high fidelity gaming on this thing. And that's a fact. Cold Blood says 4K 60 more like every single resolution that is under 4K dynamic-ish. Cold Blood, what do you, if 4K is so predominant for you, tell me which 4K 60 true native 4K 60 games you're getting on the PlayStation right now. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. You're not getting it. You're still getting better fidelity than even the Pro. You know what I'm saying? You're getting better, so you're getting better fidelity than the Pro. Xbox One X for its ports, for the ports that were on Stadia. The ports that were on Stadia didn't match up texture-wise and in resolution all the time versus what was on the Xbox One X. But what it has over both consoles is a flat 60 frames per second. Which again, for a lot of gamers, I don't even care about 4K resolution. I don't care about resolution. If I gotta sacrifice frames for resolution, then I don't want to play it. I don't care about 4K 30. I have yet to play a game on Stadia at 4K 30. I'll be damned. You will never see me play at 4K 30 on Stadia. That just ain't happening. Rondell, what's going on? I know twice in one day, right? He says, I see the NPC more hard. Machinery learning? Could be. No, you know what? I have it on hard mode. I have it on hard. I like playing my games on hard, seeing if I can handle it, knowing that I'm gonna die a billion times. And if I can't handle it, what we got going on here? If I can't handle it, then I'll stick with it. But I died a whole, y'all didn't see all that. Woo, I spared y'all that. I died a whole bunch of times. I got slaughtered. He says Stadia, it's Steam replacement, not GFN. Yeah, brother, because GFN, they on some hard times, man. We got Tim Sweeney trying to cap for it on behalf of his 40% stakeholders at Tencent, because we see what they doing. Tencent owns 40% of Epic. Also, Tencent approached GFN, or approached Nvidia to help them make the Chinese version of GFN. We see what you doing. Oh, I didn't even notice that right there. Let me get all the goods. We see what you doing. Yeah, so He says that my Stadia settings are on max. On max settings for Rage 2, you get to play at 60 frames per second. It's 1440p upscaled to 4K at 60 frames per second. Oh! You ducked! I gotta give you credit for that one. Can you duck this one? Oh, shoot. Oh, you ducked. You tough mamma jammy. Stop it! Oh, shoot. What we got going on over here? Oh, we do got a chest over here. So, yeah. Oh, let me get over here and get to some of this damage. He said, Phil from Stadia is still a no-show just like Sony. He didn't want to show since the launch of Stadia. Cold Blood, you do understand. Look, and at that juncture, I can dig it, brother. I can dig it because I believe the meme too. What the hell? I believe the meme too. I believe that Phil Harrison was behind the bad launch of Xbox. I remember seeing him talking at Dice. I mean, not Dice. At an E3. And then after that, Xbox, you know, and it's just a meme, brother. Phil Harrison was one of the original 40 people at PlayStation. You know that, right? When PlayStation was being started, after the deal fell through with Nintendo, and PlayStation and Sony said, you know what, we're just going to go ahead with our own console. You know, he was one of the original 40 people when all that happened. And as far as his stint with Microsoft, he was in charge of Lionhead Studios. Donnie D brought him on to be in charge of the UK studios. And Lionhead was one of them, right? And as far as Lionhead is concerned, the reason why Fable Legends end up canceling and really didn't reach its milestones was they kept wanting to add microtransactions to it. They wanted to make it a games as a service, and the people at Lionhead weren't experienced with games as a service. So Phil kept talking to Donnie D, and he kept making them aware that these people they're not games as a service people, so they had to keep working with them. And Donnie D was okay with that. He was okay at them taking time to figure it out, because he definitely wanted games as a service. However,
it's a bandit post. It looks like they're hauling.
Pit stops or areas goon squads can fill up their vehicles with stolen fuel, destroy all the fuel containers. All right.
It's a support pit. Topping tanks for convoys and raids. Destroying that fuel should put a dent in their mobility.
All right. I'm all for it. But then Donnie D got pitched. In came Satya, out went Donnie D. When Donnie D left, Phil and company said, you know what? We get it. They're not capable of doing games as a service the way we wanted them to. That's the direction we're heading in. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So sometimes you got to look beyond the memes. You know what I mean? And I feel you, Cold Blood, because I believe the meme too. When I was like, oh, I like this Stadia thing, I like what they're proposing, but I don't like this Phil Harrison because he's doom and gloom. And come to find out that I was wrong. So, you know, it's just a matter of looking beyond the memes and realizing the truth. But because of that, I urge everybody to check out Podcast Unfiltered. His sit down with Ryan McCaffrey about just that. You know, what his role was at PlayStation. He didn't just come out of nowhere and destroy PlayStation. No, he was actually part of the team that was trying to keep PlayStation intact. Also, he had a success. Phil Harrison is loaded. He doesn't have to do this. Phil Harrison entered a very lucrative deal in regards to mobile gaming before he signed up with Donnie D for his stint at Microsoft. Donnie D's been trying to court him for years. And he finally just obliged. He was in retirement, enjoying time with his family, and he finally said, "Oh, what the heck? I'll work with Donnie," and that's when he was over the UK studios, which included Lionhead. So yeah, can't believe the memes. Oh shoot! I did not mean to do that. Whoa! Woo! Oh, off with his head. Oh, now that was some real shooting, baby. Woo! Oh shoot. Oh man. Okay. Jeez Louise. That was tough, man. But yeah, that's what happened there. He wasn't the one in charge of the of Xbox and had some major role at Xbox. He wasn't someone that was instrumental in the downfall of PlayStation during the PlayStation 3 era. No, that's baloney. And I believe that, Cold Blood, and this is why I'm so staunch about what I do. Because I don't like gamers being misinformed. And I was misinformed just like how you were just misinformed about this. So, and the reason why we were misinformed, Cold Blood Sensei, is because we had major gaming publications spewing that garbage. Spewing untruths. And here we're left lost in the sauce, and I don't like that. I don't like that. So that's why I'm so vocal the way that I am. I don't like being misinformed for the sake of someone else pumping themselves up. And that's exactly what they do to us every day. Every day they misinform us. They lie to us. They're not transparent. They hide things from us. And I don't like it because they want our money. And I don't like that. That's why I say, even though I'm a big fan, you know me, I'm a big fan of the platform. I say, you know, a lot of people may not agree, but I say that Google has some culpability here. How big the culpability is, you know, it's questionable. It's up for debate, but they definitely got some culpability. Because they should have got ahead of this messaging. And I showed you, just from the top of the dome, how easy it was. And I'm no ultimate wordsmith, trust me. You know, if y'all been following me, y'all know I ain't no ultimate wordsmith. But just basic business fundamentals. I could have said, give me 15 minutes to figure out something to say about this. Oh, there we go. There goes our statement. Give that off to the press. Now, I don't get the culture or the root of the culture that thought it was okay. But I can tell you one thing. As someone that has run an IT department, that has done technical things, that's been in the seat before, where you're doing all the technical marvel and you may not be ahead of them, you may not be in charge of the messaging, and the people that are in charge of the messaging, they're just bungling everything. It's frustrating. I can just imagine the frustration that the tech people are having, because if you look at GDC and IO, they know what they're doing. Like the people behind the tech, they're masterful. It's not they're not the problem. They're definitely not the problem. But I can understand their frustration. Because it's being made to seem like that this is running on a hamster wheel with a couple of rubber bands holding it up, when there's really some masterful stuff going on here. This platform, again, I am playing this on a web browser. This feels like I'm playing this on a dedicated. I'm playing this off of a Chrome web browser. That says enough. So I can feel their pain, man. I can feel their pain. Shay Capo, he says, so, Mos, I'm sure you saw the news about Duke, bruh. You like 80 years late, bruh. Come on, Shay. I done did an hour and a half long monologue about Doom Eternal. And please go to my video earlier, because I talk about it. I'll go over it real quick. Shake. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Okay, I'll go over it real quick, Shake. We got several problems here. First and foremost, I'm going to go from the least culpable to the most culpable. Stadia messaging around this, knowing that this was coming down the pike, was less than desirable. Very much so. We even warned them of it yesterday when the homie Rav Gaming said,
Literally. I wish I was there to see
hold
the
on,
smoke pillars lick the
Stadia is
skyline.
not going to be true 4K 60. And then we reached out to Google via Twitter and said, y'all need to watch out for this. And we haven't heard a peep from them. That's not plausible messaging. Not saying that they got to give a long drawn out speech, but I gave an example of a quick 5 to 6 sentences that they can say that just move on from this, right? But they should have said something, because Bethesda was caught on their stage saying that it would be true 4K 60. They boasted that. So you can't run away from that. You got to speak up about it. That being said, I'm more concerned with Bethesda making that claim and then stealth releasing that it's not 4K 60. When they're the ones that made the claim, because, hey, look, this is running off of Vulkan API. We've tested it thoroughly. It can run at true 4K 60 and 4K 60. And from what I understand, they've demoed it at 4K 60 for the last 6 months to various reporters, everybody. And everybody said it was amazing. Even the biggest naysayers were saying it was amazing, right? That saw it. So we need to understand why they came out so boastfully and said that, and all of a sudden it's being backtracked. Lastly, outlets like Eurogamer that wanted to report this to create another Stadia Sucks entry, how come they didn't do their due diligence and recognize what Ralph Gaming, Duncan realized that, hey, why was this yesterday reported at 1440p for Stadia and consoles? Then all of a sudden they bumped up Stadia and bumped up Xbox at 1800p. All of a sudden, like how it looks, the way they did it, it looks a lot like there may be parity. So we're asking the question: who has the marketing deal? Because we saw this before with Destiny 2. A lot of questions out here. So we asked them in our video, but definitely no, there's some culpability here with Google, and they gotta get better at this messaging. They gotta do it. They were doing such a great job over the last few weeks, and just for this to happen, it's like a dough moment. But again, at the end of the day, it's not doom and gloom. At the end of the day, Doom Eternal is going to look fantastic on Google Stadia. It's going to look and play fantastic. In all likelihood, it's going to perform the best next to second only to PC, because its 60 frames per second are going to be more constant because of the technology. That we do know. So There you have it, folks. With that said, I want to thank everybody for coming through, watching this. I went a little bit over, about 23 minutes. But it was fun playing this game. I'm going to do some more of these. Tomorrow, if you want to see me stream again, I'm not a hater. I love and I prefer Stadia because of their performance, their consistency and stuff like that, the ease of use, and the affordability. But I still play on GFN too. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is on my Hard Knock Digital Culture channel on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/MightyMost2000, or go to hdc.live. I'll pronounce when. I am going to stream some more Division. Hopefully I can round up Cold Blood Sensei again and Rage 9, and we can kick some more ass on Division 2. You know what I'm saying? And Lua, I'm getting myself ready for Division coming over to Stadia, and then I'll pick it up on Stadia from there. And it's going to be cross-play with PC, which is going to be excellent. Again, the purpose of the stream was not to say, oh, no, doom and gloom, Stadia. No, it's to say, hey, guys, we're in this together, but let's get down to business. Let's have a shrewd conversation and identify some serious gaps that we got to get over. And there are some serious gaps in messaging and promises by the devs and focus by the media. Some serious problems here. And as a gamer, I'm looking at this from the gamer perspective. As a gamer, we're the ones being trampled over for everybody's individual agendas. And I don't like that. So this was a coming to reason and talk to everybody. Like, get it together. Because media, you're going to get exposed. Devs, we're going to be breathing down your neck. And Google, we're going to continue to point out where the messaging is flat. It should be better than this. So, Static Fox, definitely. We're friends on, hopefully we're friends on Stadia. If not, it's MM2K Stadia. Look me up. Send me a friend request. We'll definitely do some Borderlands, my good friend. Trizza Rector said, that's why we need exclusives. Look, they're going to do them second-party exclusive deals. First party is going to take a few years before they come. But yeah, we definitely need exclusives, but that's not going to fix it. The problem is the product placement. I, again, had people ask me, y'all, why would I get Google Stadia when everything else is better? And I said, better is subjective. What is better to you? And because they're misinformed, they think that there's no perk to Stadia. And why do they think that? Because the product placement, the messaging from Google themselves was all about power. And there is no game out here where you definitively outdo the most powerful console in quote unquote power, meaning fidelity and resolution. You got the frames, but don't know the common gamer don't care about frames because they're gaming at 30 frames per second on console. They don't understand the difference. So if you're going to talk power, you better have resolution and graphics, textures in your bucket. And right now they don't. But that's okay. That is okay. Because there's so far more benefits to Google Stadia. The smoothness, the performance. The ease of use. The fact that I ain't got to wait for load times. Y'all saw where it was crapping out on me because I was using Google Canary, the unstable version, and how easy it was for me to just keep going back in and back out. That would have taken me 15 minutes on the console. Waiting for load screens and all that other stuff. I didn't have to do that. I ain't got to pay money on extra external storage. These are the things that they should be lauding for this service. Y'all gotta wipe away that whole 10.7 teraflops thing because y'all ain't there yet. And y'all was supposed to be there with Doom Eternal. But Doom Eternal is releasing equally, as far as power is concerned, equivalent to the Xbox One X. So now you gotta totally scrap that. You gotta totally scrap that message. For what message? This one. Something in this lines. Affordable high fidelity gaming at home, on the go, at your fingertips. Get rid of that old 10.7 teraflops thing until you get into the 10.0 stage. I mean, not 10, the 2.0 stage. But until then, you're continuing to step in bear traps. Get rid of it. Target demo. They said females from 20 to 35. Where are your adverts with females from 20 to 35? And even if you're waiting for the launch of base to really do a full blitz, get people in heavy anticipation. In lieu of launches, whether it's a soft launch, a hard launch, a launch for your 2.0, 1.5, you always get people set up for anticipation. Base is coming. You know what I'm saying? Show somebody within that target demo. At home, playing it on a Chromecast, then going upstairs to do some work. All of a sudden, picking up the joystick and playing it on their browser, on their laptop. Getting a phone call from a friend. Going to a coffee shop, playing it on their phone. Then getting another phone call, going to the park, whipping out their tablet, playing it. Something similar to those Nintendo Switch adverts. If you do something like that, then that helps transition you from the flawed 10.7 power narrative to something more feasible. And big ups to the homie Chase and Eddie and the others that say, hey, look, we run ourselves into a bad loop when we keep talking about power. But what we have to remember is that Google started the power talks first. So we really can't be mad at the consumer for latching on to that. They have to transition the consumer from that because they did that improperly. So we just need that messaging to be on point. And I'm telling you, the manager in me, I'm not patting my back to say, oh, I'm so high. I'm not. But the manager in me is just boiling under my skin. Like I could imagine running a section there. I'm breathing fire everywhere. Everyone's going home today with their skin curled. Why aren't we behind this messaging? And I don't get the culture. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But whatever it is, you got to get out of that. Whatever the culture is, it works everywhere else. For the apps and stuff that you develop and all that other Silicon Valley stuff, it works. It's not going to work in gaming. It's just not. You got to get on top of stuff like this when your hand gets caught in a cookie jar. And I get there's several scenarios to where you didn't do this on purpose. There could be parody, something out of your hand. But perception-wise, your hand got caught in a cookie jar. Get in front of this with a couple of sentences. Boom. There goes the dynamite. Just got to get better at this. Everybody does. The media got to get better at this. We're going to hold them accountable because they're doing this for clicks. Developers, I get it. Y'all think Stadia is the redhead stepchild, but gamers are invested in this. Y'all can't do this. Bethesda, shame on you for stealth releasing this. And then Google. You got to get, like I said, it wasn't that difficult. I see most of the scenarios where your hands were tied in regards to this, but you still got to get ahead of the messaging. No excuse. We all got to do better. Come on, y'all. We all got to do better, and it's not that hard. And what you're doing is, because this platform is fantastic, it has a lot of potential, but you're squandering that if you don't get this together. That's all. And I don't like the prospect. And then beyond Google, you know what I'm saying? Because I believe they will get it together, but they got to do it. Beyond Google, I don't like the fact that the unsuspecting gamer is getting caught in the middle of this. And the fact that Eurogamer ain't doing his job. It looks like we got some serious parity concerns right here that need to be answered. If it's a never was, then make sure it was a never was. We looked into the whole parity thing. We don't see any evidence. Say something. All y'all wanted to do was a hit piece. A very sly hit piece. Shame on you. So that's it, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the stream. I hope y'all enjoyed this old man shaking his fist at the window. But again, I love this platform. I love what it's capable of. I'm very shrewd at nature because I love taking criticisms and I love giving it. If it's all for the sake of making things better, let's do it. I don't have soft skin. I have tough skin because I always want to get better. I wake up every day thinking, what can I learn new today? I don't mind criticism. And I'm hoping Google is like that. I hope the development team is like that. And I hope there's some integrity that's going to come forth from the media to where they're like that. If not, we'll beat it out of you. Proverbially, I can't even talk. We'll beat it out of you. With that said, thank you for following the stream. Yeah, Raw, now get off my lawn. Bernie Sanders is my second cousin. No, get off my lawn. That's right. With that said, that's it from your boy MM2K. I hope y'all enjoy. Please watch my video about this whole Doom situation. I laid this all out, even in more depth than I did here. About 13 minutes. You know, if you could spare 13 minutes of your time, I appreciate you checking that out and share it to everybody. It's deep-rooted and very serious conversation, a discussion that needs to be had. Is there parity? Because that's not good for the game. This ain't got nothing to do with Stadia. This is beyond Stadia. I've had this issue when it was going about Destiny 2. So is there parity? If there is parity, it needs to be addressed. And if there isn't, what's going on with the communication here? So with that said, I want to thank everybody. Love the platform. Can't wait for Doom Eternal to still drop. It's going to look fantastic. And I'll be streaming out here too. I can't wait. Can't wait for Division to come. And everything else coming around the corner. But with that said, you all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.